Bonjour et bienvenue à Learn French with Alexa. Today, folks, we are going to learn about indefinite articles. That's right. That's why I titled this lesson Les articles indéfinis. Indefinite articles. There is a video available for definite articles, which I invite you to watch if you have not done so already. But today, we are going to learn about indefinite articles. Now, indefinite article is a grammatical term, but what does it mean? For example, I would like you to give me an indefinite article in English. Well, you definitely have one in English, and it comes before a noun usually. Okay, I help you. The article is a. It designs something non-specific, as in there is a carrot on the table. So it is a carrot, but on the table. See here? I've used two definite and indefinite articles. A being indefinite, the being a definite article. Can you hear the difference? And how the meaning of the sentence changes just by swapping the articles over? Okay, so indefinite article would be a, as I said. As in a non-specific thing, I use a pen. I'm reading a book. So since you are not pointing out what book it is or have never referred to it before, you would use a. Now, let's have a look at the different indefinite articles we have in French. Well, we have two. One is un, and the other one is une. Une comes before a feminine gender, a feminine noun, a feminine thing, and un before a masculine one. Okay, so the same rule applies as to when you use a definite article, as I've stated in another video, le or la. Okay, so a word is either feminine or masculine and will either have une or un in front of it when it is in its singular form. And when you're saying a pen, a computer, a lamp, whatever. When it is plural, that means more than one, then we use the word des, D-E-S, such as tables or chairs would be in French des tables. Have a look. Okay, des chaises, and you definitely have to put des in front of the article if you want to translate tables, chairs. You see, in English you don't, but in French you will always have to have an article in front of the noun. A word which has an e at the end is more likely to be preceded by the article une. For example, une table. Have a look, the ending is e. Une carotte. And again, it's a sound, so it's likely to be une. Une lampe, that's a lamp. Une flûte, and that's a recorder. Une flûte, okay, etc. So there is an e at the end of this word, so it's more likely to be une, actually 75% of the time. But we do have exceptions. Sometimes the word does not have an e and will still be feminine, such as une caméra, okay? Une télévision, and that's a television. Une fleur, and that's a flower. And this word does not end with an e, but it's still feminine. I know it is hard to tell when a word is feminine or masculine, but try and practice. If you get it wrong, it is not the end of the world. Okay, we would still understand what you mean. And as I say, it still sounds cute anyway. As for the masculine article, un, well, you would say, for example, un éléphant. Okay, that's an elephant. Un train. Un car. And that's a coach, another car. Un chariot. Un robinet, and that's a tap, as in tap of water. etc., etc. But also you would say un livre. Here, livre ends with an E and is not feminine but masculine, so it belongs to one of these exceptions. So, let me explain how to use des in a sentence in French. I think the best way for me to do it would be by explaining it in English. In English, you would say, for example, there are apples on the table. Okay, so apples on the table. But you could also say there are some apples on the table, just one table, okay? So the thing is, in English, you can say the sentence without any articles. There are apples on the tables. On the table. I can't say it. There are apples on the table. What? But in French, we would have, it's obligatory to put an article before apple in order to give it its plural gender. And the only way we can do that is by saying des, D-E-S. So we would say, il y a des pommes sur la table. We would just not say, il y a pommes sur la table, like you do in English. That does not exist in French at all. We would have to put an article. And this article is des, the plural form, okay, of this indefinite article. Il y a des pommes sur la table will translate as there are apples on the table or there are some apples on the table. Is that clear? Is that okay with you? Okay, here's a game. Guess whether the word appearing on the screen just here is un or une. Okay? How about ordinateur? Ordinateur, which is a computer. That's un ordinateur. It's a computer. It's masculine. Here's another one. Crayon. That means crayon. And it's un crayon. It's masculine. Here's another one. Pain, as in some bread or bread. It's un pain. Un pain. Très bien. That means a bread, okay? Photo. Photo, as in photographie. Well, because photography ends with an E, it's une photo, okay? But we imagine that the word is not quite photo, but photographie. Une photo. Feuille, and that means leaf, as in the leaf of the tree. Feuille. Look at the ending, and the logic is that it's une feuille. Well done. Sofa, and that's a sofa as in a sofa bed. Un sofa, very good. And how about araignée? That's a spider. Araignée, une araignée, very good. It's une araignée. I know it is hard to get it right, but trust me, it comes with practice. It does. All these words that can become plural, by the way, just by adding des, D-E-S, in front of them. So if you took the same words, you would say not un éléphant, but you would say des éléphants. Des éléphants. I'm doing the liaison between the S of des and the E of elephant. I can do that because elephant begins with a vowel. So elephant means elephants, okay, but we would say des éléphants. Des trains, trains. Des cars, coaches. Des chariots, trolleys, etc. And we would translate these as, like I said, elephants, trains, cars. Okay, we would not in English necessarily put some trains, some cars, okay? But it can be both in English, as in no articles, and some, as in the article. But in French, you always have to put des in front of a noun, or un or une. Put an article in front. Here's a game. Transform the next word into its plural form. For example, un parapluie, which is an umbrella. Un parapluies. Des parapluies will be, it's a plural form, okay? So I transformed un parapluie, one umbrella or a umbrella, into umbrellas, which is des parapluies. Here's another word, un banc, which is a bench. You will transform that as des bancs. Very good, benches. The next one, vélo, un vélo, which is a bicycle. In its plural form will be bicycles, but in French, des vélos. Very good. And another one, une orange. That's an orange, okay? An orange. Une orange. Oui. Des oranges would be the plural form of oranges, okay? Orange. And the last one, how would you put into its plural form? Une balle, as in a ball. Une balle would be des balles. Well done, very good. It's not hard, is it? I think the hardest part would be to find whether the word is un or une. Okay, the same way as you would find whether a word is le or la. Okay, so by the way, and one last thing, if you say une pomme, as in an apple, when you put it into its definite article form, the apple, it will be la pomme. You follow the same logic, okay? They have to be feminine all the time, okay? Not one article masculine, one article feminine, okay? So, to summarize, we have two ways of saying a. Un for masculine word and une for feminine. And by the way, they both mean one, as in the number one. So if you were to say there is one apple on the table, you would also say il y a une pomme sur la table. Okay? We don't just say un, as in one, but une, as pomme is feminine. Okay? So une, deux, trois, or un, deux, trois. Okay, that works both ways, by the way. Do you get it? Okay, so, and the last article is des, which means some, okay, when using the word in its plural form. Okay, un, une, or des. Now it's up to you. What do you want to do with this, and why don't you practice? Have a look at the French word or an English word, try to translate it into French and put the right article. Play with the indefinite article, which we just have seen, or the definite article, le or la. Okay? I think that's it for me today. Lots of information to take in. Have a look at this lesson again if you wish. Okay? And I'll see you very soon. Au revoir, monsieur. Au revoir, madame. Au revoir, mademoiselle. À bientôt et bisous, bisous. Bonjour et bienvenue à Learn French with Alexa. Today, folks, we are going to learn about the French subject pronouns, or in French, we call it les pronoms sujets. Learning about the subject pronouns in French is crucial as it will help you understand how to conjugate a verb later on. But I don't want to get into this quite now. Let's concentrate on the subject pronoun. Okay, let's start. Give me one subject pronoun. That's right. Anyone, come on. Okay, that's one. I is a pronoun. And it is a subject. Okay, it's a subject pronoun as it is the main actor in the sentence, the one which performs the verb, the action, okay, the verb in a sentence, as in I am running. I is the subject of the sentence, and we know that you're running. That's the action, okay? So now we know that I is a subject pronoun. Can you think of any other? Well, I can think of she is a subject pronoun. Think of a subject pronoun. He, that's another one. We, well done. They, okay. And you is another subject pronoun. So if we know them in English, we will not have any difficulty learning them in French, right? French children learn about subject pronouns at school very, very early on. And the reason being is that conjugating a verb is directly linked with the subject pronouns. And the ending of a verb will depend solely on the subject pronoun you use. So they need to be learnt in a certain order. And this is exactly what we are going to do today. Learn it exactly the way children in France learn the order of the subject pronouns. We split them into two groups, the singular subject pronouns and the plural subject pronouns. Okay, so let's start with a singular group. You need to learn them in this order and never learn them in any other order. Is that clear? Well, I know I'm not giving you an order, but I feel that if you want to carry on conjugating verbs in French, you should learn it in the order that we French people learn it, okay? And the way it is written on all the grammatical French books, okay? So I'm going to teach you how to say I. I, as in I am, in French is je. Can you say that? Je. Very good. So that's the first person. We call that première personne of the singular subject pronoun group. Now the second one is you, as in tu in French. Tu. Can you say that? Tu. Okay, that means you. But we will see that we have another you in another section. So wait for this one. Then I'd like to teach you he. He in French is il. Il. Can you say that? Il. That's a he in English. The next one is she. And she is elle. Elle. Very good. And the last of our singular pronouns series is on. On. On means we, okay, or one, okay, as in one has to do some work and so on, okay. So on, O-N. Although we are going to see in a minute that we have another we as well in the other group. The same as tu is you, we have another way of saying you, okay? So what I'd like you to do now is repeat after me. Are you ready? Je. Bravo. Tu. Bravo. Il. Bravo. Elle. Très bien. On. Bravo. Well done. Why don't you start learning them now? Just these four here. Tu, je, tu, il, elle, on. Sorry, they're 5, not 4. Okay. Now, here's a little game. How do you say you in French? We're talking only about what we've just learned. You. That's right. You is tu. Bravo. How about she? She is elle. Bravo. How about I? Bien. I in French is je. Bravo. Now, have a look at this and tell me, what does it mean? Il means he. Bravo. Well done. How about this one? On means we or one. Okay, bravo. And the last one? That's right. Tu means you. Okay, but we are going to see in a minute we've got another way of saying you. That's one made things, simple when you can make them complicated, I say. Now, let's have a look at the plural subject pronouns, the second part of our lesson. It says it all in the title, by the way. Plural means more than one person or thing, okay? So we are going to have we, which is the plural subject pronoun. In French is nous. Nous. Can you say that? Well done. And this is another way and a more formal way of saying we, okay? Though you can say on a, we have. In French, nous avons is more formal than on a, okay? So though nous and on both mean roughly the same thing, we use nous more preferably when written it down or when talking to someone you don't know, okay? So you is vous. Okay, that's another way of saying you. So we have tu, like we've just seen, and there is vous. This one is used differently from tu, as we use it in a more formal way or to a group of more than one person. Okay? And then we have they. Now, they is a little tricky because we've got two ways of saying they in French. We have either elle. So have you seen? It's like she with an S, yeah, she's. Okay, elle, okay. Or we have il, and the same way, it's like he with an S, okay. So the elle with an S relates to a group of girls or ladies or feminine genders things, as in les tables sont marron, and which means the tables are brown. Okay. Now, if we wanted to replace les tables by a subject pronoun, we would replace them by they. Okay. They are brown. Well, in French, we will replace it by elle. E-L-L-E-S. Why? Because we know that tables are feminine. Okay. So we don't say il, we say elle. Okay. And for il, well, it is used for men, a group of men or boys, or masculine gender things. For example, using the same example as early on, let's take a masculine noun, livre, which means book. You want to say books. Les livres, the books. Sont bien, the books are good. Okay, the books are good. Will become they are good, because we've replaced les livres by its subject pronoun. And in French, it becomes ils sont bien. Okay, so we are using il, I-L-S, because we know that livre is masculine. Okay, now you're going to ask me, what happens when we are talking about a group of boys and girls, as in they are all here in the same concert? Okay, well, we are going to use the masculine version of they, il. Okay, so you've got 100 women and 50 men. You will still use il, I-L-S. Grammatically speaking, the boys are stronger. And I mean grammatically speaking here. Okay, so you can have 1 million girls and 2 boys. Knowing that we have 2 boys, we might not notice them there. If we know we have 2 boys, then we would say il, I-L-S, okay, and not L-I-S-S-E-S. Mind you, they will be squashed, won't you, by the girls, so likely that we won't see them. So, repeat after me the plural subject pronouns. We have nous, that means we, vous, that means you as in formal, il, that means they, for boys, elle, that means they, for a group of girls. Okay. Here's a little game. How do you say oui in French? Nous. Bravo. Nous. And though it has an S, we don't say nous. Okay, we say nous. Okay. If we talk about a group of boys, how do we say they? That's right, we would say il. Très bien. Well done. And what about you if we talk to someone we don't know very well? Which you would you use? That's right, it's vous. Very good. Vous. Well done. Now, have a look at this and tell me what it means. Nous? It means we. Bravo. What about this one? Elle. That's right, it means they when talking about a group of girls or feminine things. And what about this one? That's right, vous means you. Well done. Just one thing here. What you would you use if you were to talk to the queen? Would you use tu or vous? Yes, it would have to be vous, wouldn't it? As a formal way, a very respectful way of saying you to the queen, you would say vous. How about to a child? What would you say? Vous or tu? Yes, it would be tu, as they are much younger than you, and children are referred to as tu. Okay, not that we don't respect them, but that's the way things go. What should a student say to a teacher? Would they say tu or vous? That's right. It would have to be vous as a mark of respect. So when I went to school, I would say vous. I used to say vous to all my teachers. And some teachers refer to us as vous, by the way, as a mark of respect as well. Okay, so my professeur de français, my French teacher, used to address us as vous, I remember. So that was odd to be addressed as vous, especially as a teenager. Everybody said tu to us. What would I say to you? Well, I would probably say vous. I don't know you, okay? And as a mark of respect, I would say vous, okay? The vous and the tu in French is a very much anchored into our culture, okay? The French culture. And you have ways of asking to say tu when you feel you have known the person long enough and comfortable with that person, okay? A person can equally ask you to say vous to them or tu. Okay, so basically, you should always say vous unless you're pretty certain you can say tu. Okay? Okay, let's recap all the subject pronouns learned today. And here they are. Je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. Now repeat them in this order over and over again, and you will see how easier it will make conjugating for you, how easier conjugating will become, okay? But this is another lesson completely. I just want you to be comfortable with this order and the subject pronouns before getting into any other form of grammar. Okay? So let's play a game together. I have put the pronouns in the right order on the list here, but one is missing. But which one is missing? Have a look at the list. Just there. Which pronoun is missing? Using the right order I've just taught you. That's right. Vous is missing. Well done. Okay, vous as in you. Okay, well spotted. Well done. Here's another list. Have a look at this one. So, il, very good. Il, I-L, il as in he is missing from the list. And here's another one. Have a look at this one. Found it? Have a look again. Nous is missing this time. Well done. Bet you spotted this one. Nous is missing. Très bien. What can I say? You're fab. Okay, before I finish, why don't you look at sentences in English such as my friend and I are eating an ice cream. Okay, very random here. But what I'd like you to do, see whether you can replace my friend and I with a subject pronoun. Is it I? Is it he? Is it she? Is it we? Well, in this case, my friend and I are eating an ice cream will be replaced by we are eating an ice cream. Okay? So keep doing this until you're confident with your pronouns in English, and you will see how it will become quite routine to do it in French afterwards. Okay? It's quite hard, but you'll get there. Okay. That's it for me for the sujet pronom. Au revoir monsieur, au revoir madame et mademoiselle. Et puis à bientôt. Bisous bisous. Bonjour et bienvenue à Learn French with Alexa. This is the last lesson of my series titled French Essential Volume 1. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. I would like to finish with a grammatical point this time, which is a crucial point in French and will help you a lot in your language learning and speaking. Now today, folks, I would like to teach you of how to conjugate the verbs to be and to have in the present tense. Okay, you may want to tell me, but what is conjugating and why is it so important and why am I choosing to be and to have as my first verbs? Well, because knowing how to conjugate the verb to be and to have in the present tense will also help you speak in the past tense, okay? We call these two verbs auxiliaries, auxiliaire, okay? They are the yeast to the bread, the missing link to the past tense. Well, you get the idea. Without these two verbs, you won't be able to make yourself understood fully, and most of all, you will be forever limited to what you have to say or what you say in French. Okay? So, what I would like to do is start by the auxiliary verb to have. Okay? Now remember, knowing how to say to have in the present tense is crucial into speaking in the past tense. Well, to have in French is avoir. Avoir, can you say that? Well done, avoir. Of course, I'm presenting it to you in its infinitive form, okay? Avoir, as in, for example, it has not been conjugated yet, okay? Avoir, we have not used it with any subject pronouns. By the way, subject pronouns refer back to one of my lessons on subject pronouns and you'll understand what I mean. When you start conjugating this verb, you will see it will change depending on the subject pronoun we use, okay? In English, to have is not changing much when conjugating, as in I have is still the same as to have. You have. The only thing that changes in English is he has. So you drop the VE and you add an S instead of VE. Okay, so it's quite easy in English to conjugate a verb such as to have. Okay, but it is not in French. Okay, let's have a look at how we say I have, you have. And remember that the order of the subject pronouns is always the same. We have learned this before in my section titled Subject Pronoun. Okay, les pronoms sujets ou les sujets pronoms. Okay, how do you say I have in French? I have in French is j'ai. Can you say that? Well done. You have, tu as. Tu as. Very good. He has, il a. Il a. She has, elle a. Elle a. We have, as in on, the singular form, on a. On a. Très bien. We have, as in the plural form and the more formal way of saying we, nous avons. Nous avons. And I do the liaison here because avons begins with a vowel. Nous avons. Now, you have, as in the second way of saying you, the more formal way, and when we talk to a group of more than one person, vous avez. Vous avez. Très bien. And last, how do we say they have? As you know, we have two ways of saying they. It's either il with an S or elle with an S. Elles ont, O-N-T, or ils ont, O-N-T. And notice that I do the Z sound because L ends with an S and on begins with a vowel. Get me? Okay, well done. So what do you notice? I notice that they don't necessarily follow a pattern, and they should definitely be learned by heart and in this order. As you will notice, they are split into singular and plural group, like I have explained in one of my other sections titled Subject Pronouns, just like we learned them at school in France, okay? From je to il, singular subject pronouns, to nous, to il, the plural subject pronouns. Okay, let's repeat them again with me. How to say I have, you have, and so on. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Très bien. Right, now, can you tell me what this means? J'ai un chat. J'ai un chat. Okay? It means I have a cat. Okay? Because we've just learned that j'ai means I have. So if you don't know, chat is cat in French. And this one. Nous avons 3 sœurs. Nous avons 3 sœurs. What do you think that means? It means we have 3 sisters. Sœur is a sister. We have 3 sisters. Nous avons 3 sœurs. Can you translate this one for me? Elle a les cheveux blonds. Okay, I know you understand elle a because we've just learnt it. And blond because it means blonde. And cheveux? Hair. So she has blonde hair. Okay? Well done. Keep practicing anyway. Let's play a game together. Look at the screen and tell me, what does nous avons mean? That's right. It means we have. How about elles ont? They have the feminine version of they. How about j'ai? I have. Okay? Vous avez? You have. Okay? And what about this sentence? Il a un petit chien. Il a un petit chien. He has a little dog. Well done. So can you now translate she has in French? That's right. It's elle a. Very good. What about we have? It's nous avons. How about you have? Yeah, it's tu as or vous avez, depending on who you talk to, okay, and which you decide to use. And how about we have a green car? Can you translate that? It becomes very tricky now. We have is nous avons. Okay, we know that. We've learned that. Une voiture verte. Now, voiture is car and verte is green. A green car literally means a car, green in French, okay? Une voiture verte. I know it is hard to remember them all now, but it comes with practice. Remember, knowing them means that you will be able to express yourself in the past tense, and the easier it is to make yourself understood, the more confident you become. And the more confident you are, the more you speak French, and so on. It's a vicious circle, really. Okay? Okay, let's now look at to be. Être in its infinitive version. Être. Okay, that means to be. But let's conjugate it in the present tense. Like I said earlier on, to be is its infinitive version. We have not yet conjugated it. What was that? Okay. So here we go. Following the same order as the subject pronoms, okay? Je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. It goes like this. Je suis. I am. Can you say that? Well done. Tu es. That means you are. Il est. He is. Very good. Elle est. She is. Excellent. On est. Okay, that means we are or one is. Nous sommes. That means we are. Very good. Vous êtes. That means you are. Okay. Ils sont. They are. Masculine. Elles sont. They are. Feminine. Again, there is not much a pattern here, is there? Okay. Être does not look like je suis, tu es or il est. Okay. We don't say je être, tu être, il être. Okay. So you've got to learn them by heart, I'm afraid. And remember, if you don't, then you'll be very limited to what you say in French and how you speak in French. Okay. So it takes a bit of practice and effort, I'm afraid. Let's repeat them again. Have a look at the screen. Je suis. Tu es. Il est. Elle est. On est. Nous sommes. Vous êtes. Ils sont. Elles sont. Well done. Okay, let's translate I am in French. That's je suis. Very good. How about she is? Elle est. Very good. How about you are? It's either tu es or vous êtes. Okay. And how would you say I am small? Okay. Je suis petit. Je suis petit or petite if you are a girl. How would you say we are happy? Nous sommes contents, content, happy, okay? Here's another game. Translate this sentence. Il est content parce qu'il a un nouveau stylo. Now, okay, you're going to tell me I'm not ready for this kind of sentence, but I'm telling you, you are, okay? Il est means he is, we've learned that. Content, not hard. Content, content, happy. Parce que might be a bit tricky. Well, I'm telling you that parce que means because. Il a, that's easy, we've just learned this one. He has un nouveau stylo. Now, un, if you follow my essentials, volume 1, you will know that un means a. Nouveau, new, stylo, pen. So translate. Il est content parce qu'il a un nouveau stylo. He's happy because he has a new pen. Ah, nice one. Okay, what I would like you to do now is have a look at this one here. This is the list of the verb to have in the present tense. Can you see anything missing? Question mark, question mark. That's right, you're missing nous avons, which is we have. And here's another one, another list of to have. Can you see anything missing? That's right. Ils ont, as in they have, masculine. Well done. Have a look now at this one, which is the to be version, present tense, okay? That's right. We are missing je suis, I am, je suis. And here's another one. Yes, we are missing nous sommes, we are. Nous sommes, okay? What I'd like you to do, because it's quite hard to grasp it just in one go like that in 10 minutes. I would like you to have a look on paper, what they look like, okay? And remember me saying, learn them by heart, because you will thank me in the long term. They will become very important when conjugating in the past tense in French. Okay? They are auxiliary verbs and they are called auxiliaries for a reason. Okay? I think that's it for me for today. I'm going to leave it as that. And I hope you enjoyed this series as much as I enjoyed teaching you. That's it for me. Au revoir, monsieur. Au revoir, madame. Au revoir, mademoiselle. À bientôt. Bisous, bisous. Salut. Bonjour. Today, let's have a look at aller and prepositions. Okay, let's have a look at aller and the prepositions that sometimes comes after aller. So basically, we are going to learn how to say I am going to the. Okay, so how do we say to the is what we are going to concentrate on today. But before we do that, let's have a look at the verb aller in the present tense. Here it is. Okay, so it's je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. If you're not certain about the verb aller, then refer back to my videos on aller, because today it's all about the prepositions. Now, how do we say to go? Not to go, to the. Okay, to the. So I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to the bakery and so on. Now in English, it's very simple. All you say is to the. But in French, it's complicated. Well, it's not that complicated once you know how to follow the rules. We have 5 ways of saying to the in French. Okay, we have à la, and this comes only when the word that comes afterwards is a feminine, okay, feminine gender. Now, the other way is à l with an L apostrophe. Now, when do we use this? It's when the word that comes after it begins with either an H or a vowel. And a third way is O, A-U. Okay, now this is used when the verb, the word that comes afterwards is a masculine noun, okay? And we don't say o le. You drop the le and you just say simply o plus the word. Now, another way of saying to the is o, A-U-X. Now, this is used when the word that follows is a plural, okay? And here is another way of saying to the, it's chez, C-H-E-Z, chez. Now, this one is a funny one. It is used when referring to a place which is a person. So you would say that if you go to your auntie's house, you would say chez. And if you go to the doctor's, as a doctor is considered as a person, you would say chez. A dentist, chez. Okay, so if it's referred as the person and not the place, then you use chez. So, have a look at this. À la, A-L apostrophe, O, O with an X, chez. Now, let's have a look at them in context. Okay, if I were to use the à la ones, okay, I would make sure that I use it only with the words that follow that are feminine. Okay, now, for example, I go to the town hall will be je vais à la mairie. Je vais à la mairie. The bakery would be je vais à la boulangerie. Je vais à la boulangerie. The swimming pool, because swimming pool is feminine, we use à la. Je vais à la piscine. Je vais à la piscine. Bibliothèque, je vais à la bibliothèque. And that's the library. Banque, je vais à la banque. Je vais à la banque. Okay, so this is a few examples of places that are feminine, okay? You need to know whether this place are feminine or masculine in order to use the right preposition, okay? Now, we know that these places that I have just named are all feminine, okay? Now, another example on to the second way of saying to the is A-L apostrophe, and like I say, only when using a word that begins with an H or a vowel. So, 2 examples here. We could say, we are going to church. Nous allons à l'église. Now notice that we don't say le or la, we say L apostrophe because église begins with a vowel. Nous allons à l'église. If you want to say we are going to hospital, nous allons à l'hôpital. Okay, again, L apostrophe because hôpital has an H. Okay, so another way of saying to the, like I said before, it's au, A-U, au. And remember when this is used? Well, this is used only when the word that follows is a masculine word. But you do not use this time le. Au means à le, if you wish. Okay? We never say à le, we say au. So all you need to do is use this preposition au plus the word. So, je vais au théâtre. I'm going to the theater. Because au means to the. Je vais au restaurant. I'm going to the restaurant. Je vais au cinéma. I'm going to the cinema. Je vais au concert. I'm going to the concert. Je vais au magasin. I'm going to the shop. Je vais au spectacle. I'm going to the show. Je vais au supermarché. I'm going to the supermarket. Okay, and this is just a minute examples, of amongst a lot, okay? But as long as you get used to not saying alle, okay, but saying au instead. I know that in English you're tempted by saying to the and saying two words, but it's not. It's only one when it comes to masculine words, okay? Masculine places, in effect. Now, if you were to use the fourth way of saying to the, au, when using a plural, you will see that for example, the United States, because it's plural, we need to use aux. So I'm going to the United States will be je vais aux États-Unis. États-Unis, United States. Je vais aux États-Unis. But one very useful way when we use au is toilette. Okay, I'm going to the toilets. In effect, toilets. We use that as a masculine. Not masculine, as a plural, okay? So, je vais aux toilettes. I'm going to the toilet. Je vais aux toilettes, okay? And then you use aux, okay? Though you don't pronounce it, not that it matters when you say it out loud, I suppose, whether you know it has an X or not, okay? Je vais aux toilettes, okay? So that's the fourth way. And the last way of saying to the is chez, C-H-E-Z. Now, chez is a funny one because it's used only when referred to someone's house or someone as in a person, okay? So, je vais, or let's use another example, they are going. So, ils vont chez ma tante. They are going to my auntie's house. So, someone's house is just one word, it's chez. So, if you want to say they're going to mine, okay, my house, ils vont chez moi. Quite simply. Ils vont chez moi. They are going to your house. Ils vont chez toi. Okay? Chez toi. Yeah? So you don't say the alla, the alle or the o. You say chez if it's a physical person, not a place as such. Now, the dentist will be considered like a person. So you would say, je vais chez le dentiste. Okay? And the doctor, je vais chez le docteur. Okay? And the hairdresser even, je vais chez le coiffeur. Now, that's it on the preposition that comes after aller. And have a look at them again. And what I'd like you to do now is why don't you try to make your own sentence using aller and the prepositions that we've just learned. Now, remember, it really depends on whether your word is A, feminine, B, masculine, C, plural, okay? Or D, is it someone as in a person, okay? Okay, well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on aller plus preposition, and I shall see you super soon. Au revoir, à bientôt. Bisou bisou. And the next lesson will be on more prepositions. We are going to learn how to say on, under, in, next to, and so on. À bientôt. Au revoir. Bis bis.